Excuse me, could I have some sparkling water, please? Karen Morrison's face twisted like she'd been asked to scrub toilets. She slammed the service cart, loud enough to make heads turn. Sparkling water? For you? Her voice cut through the cabin. Listen, honey. People like you should be grateful you're even on this plane. You probably used food stamps to buy that ticket. She leaned closer, wine bottle in hand. Red liquid sloshed near the rim. Your kind always wants special treatment. Always acting like you own the place. She poured, deliberately, slowly. The wine hit Naomi's face, her hair, her cream suit, warm and sticky and humiliating. Passengers laughed. Phones came out recording and live streaming. Nobody moved to help. Naomi sat there, soaked, alone against the world. But Karen made one mistake. She never looked at what was clipped beneath that wine-stained jacket. In 60 seconds, she would be the one begging. Let's rewind to 2 hours earlier. Flight 2847 sat at gate B-17 in Dallas-Fort Worth International. Tuesday morning, 9:45. The first-class cabin smelled like leather and fresh coffee. Overhead bins clicked shut. Sunlight streamed through oval windows, painting stripes across empty seats. Dr. Naomi Sterling was the last to board. She'd been on a conference call that ran late. 3 days at a medical summit. 72 hours of presentations, networking, handshakes that never seemed to end. Her feet ached in designer heels. Her mind buzzed with acquisition numbers and merger clauses. She smiled apologetically at the gate agent, scanned her boarding pass, walked down the jet bridge, pulling her carry-on behind her. At 42, Naomi had learned to move through the world with quiet confidence. Her natural hair was styled in an elegant professional twist. Her cream Armani suit fit perfectly, tailored last month in Manhattan. On her left hand, a wedding ring caught the light. 15 years married. 2 kids waiting at home. She was exhausted. Her daughter had a piano recital tonight at 7. She couldn't miss it. Not again. Naomi found her seat. 2A. Window side, first row. She lifted her leather Hermes briefcase into the overhead bin, settled into the wide seat, pulled out her tablet. The screen glowed with confidential documents. Sterling Biotech's acquisition of a smaller pharmaceutical company, $2.3 billion. The board meeting was tomorrow morning. Everything had to be perfect. She ordered chamomile tea from a passing flight attendant. A black woman, maybe 50, with kind eyes and 20 years of smile lines. Right away, Dr. Sterling, the woman said warmly. Her name tag read, Rebecca Davis, lead flight attendant. Naomi thanked her, declined alcohol. Big day ahead, clear head needed. Across the aisle in seat 1C, a silver-haired white man read the Wall Street Journal. Gregory Hammond, though Naomi didn't know his name yet, retired federal judge, federal, distinguished, observant. In 3B, a young white woman typed frantically on her laptop. Sarah Jenkins, marketing executive, 28, ambitious, always recording content for her social media channels. In 4A, a Latino man in business casual scrolled through his phone, smiling at a video. David Martinez, small business owner, recording a message from his daughter. The cabin hummed with the sound of 100 small movements, seatbelts clicking, bags zipping, quiet conversations. Then Karen Morrison emerged from the galley. 38 years old, 12 years with Dallas Regional Airlines, perfect makeup covering a permanent sneer, blonde hair pulled back so tight it looked painful. Manicured nails drummed against the service cart. She scanned the first-class cabin. Her eyes landed on Naomi. Something flickered across Karen's face. Disgust, suspicion, entitlement. Rebecca noticed. She'd worked with Karen for 3 years, knew that look, had seen it 17 times before. 17 documented passenger complaints, all dismissed by HR, all involving people of color. Karen, I'll handle rows 1 through 4, Rebecca said quickly. I've got it, Karen replied. Her voice was ice. Rebecca wanted to argue, but they had the same rank. Senior flight attendants. Karen had seniority by 6 months. That mattered here. Rules mattered, even when they protected the wrong people. Karen wheeled her cart down the aisle, offered orange juice to Gregory, champagne to a businessman in 1D, smiled at Sarah. Her teeth were white and straight and completely fake. She stopped at Naomi's row, said nothing, just stared. Naomi looked up from her tablet, smiled politely. "Good morning." Karen's jaw tightened. She moved on without a word. Rebecca watched from the galley. Her stomach twisted. She'd reported Karen's behavior so many times. 17 formal complaints. 17 times management had said, "We'll look into it." 17 times, nothing changed. The captain's voice crackled over the intercom. "Flight attendants, prepare for departure." The cabin door was sealed with a heavy thunk. The plane pushed back from the gate. Engines roared to life. Naomi closed her eyes briefly. Just a few hours. Then home. Then her daughter's recital. Then normalcy. She had no idea what was coming. Neither did Karen. But in 2 hours, one of them would be in handcuffs, and the other would change an entire industry. The plane leveled off at 35,000 feet. The seatbelt sign blinked off with a soft chime. Service began. Rebecca started her rounds with a tray of drinks. She moved efficiently through first class, smiling, attentive, and professional. But Karen intercepted her at row 3. "I'll take rows 1 through 4, Karen said. Not asking, telling. Rebecca's jaw tightened. "Karen, I've already started." "I said I've got it." Karen's voice dropped low. Dangerous. Rebecca stepped back. She had to. Company policy. Equal rank meant no override authority. She retreated to the galley, hands trembling slightly. Karen wheeled the cart forward. She served Gregory first. "Coffee, sir? Cream and sugar?" "Just black, thank you." His voice was warm, dignified. She poured carefully, smiled, moved to 1D, offered fresh orange juice. To the businessman in 2C, "Mimosa? We have excellent champagne." Then she reached Naomi's row. The smile vanished like someone flipped a switch. Karen stood there, silent, cart blocking the aisle. 30 seconds passed. 40. She served the passenger behind Naomi, then the one across the aisle. Naomi waited patiently, fingers still on her tablet screen. Quarterly reports glowed in neat columns. Karen finally turned to her. "What?" Not a question. A statement. Flat, cold. "Could I have some sparkling water, please?" Naomi's voice was gentle, professional. "And the fruit plate if it's available." Karen's eyes narrowed. She glanced into her cart. 3 bottles of San Pellegrino sat in ice, condensation dripping down green glass. "We're out of sparkling," Karen said. "Tap water okay for you?" Naomi's eyes flicked to the bottles, then back to Karen's face. She could push, should push, but she was tired. The recital tonight, the merger tomorrow. "Pick your battles." "That's fine. Thank you." Karen grabbed a plastic cup, the smallest one, filled it halfway from the galley tap. No ice. The water was barely cool, slightly cloudy. She walked back, set it down hard. Water sloshed over the rim, splashing across Naomi's acquisition documents. Dark spots bloomed on white paper. "Oops." Karen's voice had no apology in it. "You should be more careful where you put things." She walked away, cartwheels squeaking. Naomi stared at the ruined documents, ink bleeding, numbers smearing. She pulled napkins from the seat pocket, dabbed carefully, tried to save what she could. Gregory leaned across the aisle. "That was completely unprofessional. Would you like me to—" It's okay, Naomi said quietly. Really, it's fine. But it wasn't fine, and it was about to get worse. An hour into the flight, Naomi's bladder pressed urgently. 3 cups of tea that morning. She'd been holding it, focused on work, but couldn't anymore. She unbuckled her seatbelt. The sign was off. Had been off for 40 minutes. She stood, straightened her jacket, took 1 step toward the aisle. Karen appeared from nowhere, stepped directly into her path, close enough that Naomi could smell her perfume, something floral and overpowering. "Ma'am, sit down." "I need to use the restroom," Naomi said calmly. "The seatbelt sign is on." Naomi glanced up. The sign was dark. "No, it's not." "I don't care what you think you see. Sit down." Passengers were watching now. Sarah in 3B had stopped typing. Gregory folded his newspaper. The businessman in 2C shifted uncomfortably. "Ma'am, I'll just be a moment." Karen's voice rose, loud enough to carry through the cabin. "I said sit down. Or do I need to call the captain? Report you as a disruptive passenger?" The words hung in the air like smoke. Disruptive passenger. The phrase that gets people arrested, banned from airlines, put on no-fly lists. Naomi felt her pulse quicken, but her voice stayed level. "I'm not being disruptive. I'm asking to use the bathroom. You're being aggressive, refusing to follow crew instructions." Rebecca came rushing from the galley. "Karen, the seatbelt sign is off. She's allowed—" "Stay out of this." Karen didn't even look at Rebecca. Her eyes locked on Naomi. Challenging. Daring. The cabin went quiet. 40 passengers were holding their breath. Naomi made a calculation. She could escalate, could invoke her position, could make this uglier, or she could wait. Document. Remember. "I'll wait," she said softly. She sat back down, buckled her seatbelt. Karen smirked, victorious. She walked back to the galley, shoulders squared. Gregory was already on his phone, typing rapidly. Sarah's hand hovered over her laptop touchpad, hesitant. Naomi waited 5 full minutes, then stood again, walked quickly to the lavatory. Karen didn't stop her this time, but the look she gave could have curdled milk. When Naomi returned to her seat, she noticed something. Her briefcase had been moved. Just slightly. The zipper was in a different position. She didn't say anything, just made a mental note, opened her laptop, started typing an email. Subject line, Incident Report, Flight 2847. She didn't send it. Not yet. But she drafted every detail. Time stamps, exact quotes, witness names and seat numbers. Lunch service began at noon. Karen wheeled the cart out again. Rebecca tried to take it. Karen elbowed her aside. "This is my section," Karen hissed. She moved through first class. Offer passengers their choice of chicken or pasta. Served each one with practiced efficiency. She reached row 2. Served 2C. Served the passenger across from Naomi. Then she rolled the cart past Naomi completely. Didn't stop. Didn't ask. Didn't acknowledge her existence. Naomi watched her disappear into the galley. Heard the clatter of trays being stacked. Saw Karen emerge again, empty-handed. 10 minutes passed, then 15. Naomi pressed the call button. A soft ding echoed. Karen appeared, face already set in annoyance. "Yes?" "I didn't receive a meal. We ran out." Naomi could see into the galley from her seat. 3 meal trays sat on the counter, covered, untouched, steam rising from the edges. "There are meals right there," Naomi said, pointing. Karen's face hardened. "Those aren't for you." Her voice dropped to a venomous whisper. "Maybe next time you can book a flight you can actually afford. Stop trying to sit where you don't belong." Gregory stood up. His chair scraped loud. "Excuse me. I'm a federal judge, retired." That comment was completely inappropriate and discriminatory. Karen spun on him. Sir, if you don't want to be removed from this aircraft, I suggest you mind your own business. Threatening a federal judge? Gregory's voice was steel wrapped in velvet. Interesting choice. Sarah's hand moved. She angled her phone, propped it against her laptop screen. Started recording. The angle was perfect. Captured Karen's face, Naomi's calm expression, everything. David in 4A noticed, quietly opened his phone camera app, started recording too. Rebecca rushed over. Karen, please, take your break. I'll handle this section. I don't need a break. You're being recorded. Rebecca's whisper was urgent. Multiple phones. Stop. Now. Karen glanced around, saw Sarah's phone, saw David's. Her face flushed red, but instead of backing down, she doubled down. Fine. Record this. She grabbed a meal tray from the galley, slammed it onto Naomi's tray table. The plastic lid cracked. Sauce splattered. Here's your precious meal. Happy now? The chicken was cold, congealed. This wasn't a fresh meal. This was a leftover from an earlier flight. Maybe yesterday's flight. Naomi looked at it, then at Karen. Said nothing. Rebecca's face went pale. Karen, crew rest area, now. That's an order. We have the same rank. You can't order me anywhere. I'm lead attendant on this flight. Go, or I'm calling the captain. Karen finally left, but not before shooting Naomi one final look. Pure hatred distilled into a glance. Rebecca knelt beside Naomi's seat. Dr. Sterling, I am so deeply sorry. This is unacceptable, please. Let me get you a fresh meal, whatever you want. Naomi's voice was quiet, tired. How did you know my name? Rebecca hesitated. I recognized you. From the business news. You're on the board of our parent company. Does she know? Karen? No. She never reads the company newsletters, never attends meetings. She just shows up and does the minimum. Naomi nodded slowly. Rebecca, don't tell her, not yet. But, please, I need to see how far this goes. Rebecca looked like she wanted to argue, but she nodded. Brought Naomi a fresh meal. Apologized 3 more times. Went back to the galley looking like she might cry. Naomi ate slowly. The food tasted like ash. Her hands were steady. Her face was calm. But beneath her cream jacket, her heart pounded, and her fingers touched the corporate ID badge clipped to her blouse. Not yet, she thought. Let her dig deeper. Let the hole get deeper. Karen was in the back galley, scrolling through her phone, texting her husband, complaining about entitled passengers who didn't know their place. She had no idea she'd just ended her career, but she was about to find out. Karen stayed in the crew rest area for exactly 12 minutes. Rebecca had ordered her to stay there for the remainder of the flight. But Karen didn't take orders. 12 years with the airline, 17 complaints. Nothing ever happened. She was untouchable. She emerged from the galley like a storm returning. Makeup touched up, smile back, eyes cold. Karen, I told you, Rebecca started. I'm fine now. I want to apologize to the passenger. Rebecca's instincts screamed danger. But what could she say? Karen was offering to apologize. That's protocol. De-escalate. Make peace. I'm coming with you, Rebecca said. Not necessary. Karen loaded a cart, desserts, wine bottles, 3 red, 2 white. She wheeled it down the aisle, stopping at each row, plastic smile in place. Gregory declined dessert. Sarah took coffee, phone still recording behind her laptop. David accepted cheesecake, his camera angled perfectly. Karen reached Naomi's row. Naomi was working on her tablet, financial projections, merger details. She didn't look up immediately. Dessert? Karen's voice was false sweetness. Naomi looked up, saw the wine bottles, the tension in Karen's jaw. No, thank you. I don't drink alcohol during work hours. Karen's smile cracked. Work hours? She laughed, sharp and cutting. What work could you possibly do that matters? The cabin went silent. Naomi set her tablet down slowly. Excuse me? I'm curious. What job lets you afford first class? Or did someone else buy your ticket? The implication landed heavy. Sugar daddy. Escort. Anything but earned. That's inappropriate, Naomi said, voice level. Is it? Karen leaned on the cart. Because you people always act like you belong here. Designer clothes are probably fake. Expensive bags are probably knockoffs, playing dress-up. Gregory stood, full height. I am Federal Judge Gregory Hammond. You need to stop immediately. Karen barely glanced at him. Everyone's somebody important these days. I'm warning you. You're warning me? I'm a crew. I have authority, not you. Sarah spoke from 3B. I'm recording this. This is discrimination. Karen's head snapped toward her. Put that phone away or I'll have you arrested. That's not a real law, Sarah said, hand shaking. Want to test it? Want airport jail? Karen smiled coldly. Sarah's phone lowered slightly. Karen turned back to Naomi, emboldened. She picked up a wine bottle, held it casually. I think you snuck up here from Coach. It happens. People like you taking what isn't yours. Naomi stood slowly, deliberately, done sitting, done taking it. I paid for this seat. I have every right to be here. Do you think so? Karen's voice dropped, venomous. Everywhere I look, people who don't belong, people getting jobs they're not qualified for, promotions they didn't earn, diversity quotas. Rebecca rushed down the aisle. Karen, stop. No, I'm tired of being quiet. Karen stared at Naomi. Your kind needs to learn your place. Stop acting equal. Stop trying to take what belongs to us. The words exploded through the cabin. Us. Your kind. The quiet part was loud. Gregory was on his phone calling someone. David is recording openly now. A Korean woman in row 5 started crying. A black businessman stood up. That's enough. Apologize. Sit down or security will be waiting, Karen snapped. Naomi felt every microaggression she'd ever endured crystallize in this moment. Every store where she'd been followed. Every time she'd had to prove she belonged. Her voice came out quiet, powerful. I'm asking you once to step back and let me pass. Karen didn't move. She raised the wine bottle, held it high. Or what? You'll complain? I've had 17 complaints. 17. Still here. Know why? This airline knows what matters. Standards, not diversity nonsense. Time slowed. Karen tilted the bottle. Red wine poured out. Hit Naomi's head first. Soaked her hair, ran down her forehead, into her eyes, then her face, neck, cream suit turning burgundy. The bottle emptied. 750 milliliters, every drop. Wine pooled on the leather seat, dripped to the floor, stained her briefcase. The smell overwhelmed everything. Gasps erupted. Oh my God! Someone stop her! Naomi stood completely still, wine dripping from her chin, soaking through everything, running into her shoes. She didn't wipe it away, didn't react, just stared at Karen with terrifying calm. Karen set the empty bottle down, crossed her arms. There. Now you look like the mess you are. Remember where you belong. This is what happens when people forget their place. The cabin erupted. That's assault! Get the captain! Rebecca ran forward, 2 attendants behind her. Faces horrified. Karen stood firm, chin up. She was disruptive, refusing instructions. I had to maintain order. Gregory spoke into his phone. Federal offense. I'm a witness. Retired federal judge. Sarah's laptop nearly fell, hands shaking, but she kept recording. Video uploading to cloud, already backed up. David texted his lawyer brother, his wife, anyone who could help. A woman in row 6 cried, "Someone help her." A man in row 3 muttered, "Probably deserved it." His wife elbowed him. "Shut up, Richard." Naomi moved slowly, wiped wine from her eyes, sticky, warm, staining everything. Rebecca arrived with towels, face pale. "Dr. Sterling, I'm so sorry. This is assault. The captain's been notified." White towels turned instantly pink. "Karen Morrison, you're relieved immediately." Rebecca's voice shook with rage. "Back galley. Don't speak to anyone. The police will meet us." Karen's smirk faltered. "You can't fire me. Same rank." "I'm the lead attendant. You committed assault. Go." She deserved it. But Karen's voice wavered. She looked around for support, found only disgust. "Get out," Rebecca said. Karen walked slowly, making eye contact, daring passengers. Nobody spoke, but every phone was out, every camera recording. Naomi pulled out her phone, hands steady. Open email. Her LinkedIn flashed briefly on screen. Anyone looking could see CEO, Sterling Biotech, board member, Dallas Regional Airlines Holdings. She composed quickly, attached Sarah's video already airdropped to her, added Gregory's statement. Subject, immediate action required, Flight 2847. To DRA Board, DRA CEO Michael Patterson, DRA Legal. Her finger hover, pressed send. Email whooshed away. She sat in her wine-soaked seat, closed her eyes. Wine is still dripping. The captain's voice crackled overhead. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain. We're aware of the cabin incident. The situation is under control. The flight attendant has been removed from duty. Law enforcement will meet us upon landing. We apologize." The cockpit door opened. Co-pilot James Brooks stepped out, walked to Naomi, leaned down, whispered something only she heard. Naomi nodded once. Chen returned to the cockpit, face grim. Passengers whispered, "Who is she? Why did the co-pilot come out?" In the back galley, Karen stood alone. Other attendants wanted nothing to do with her. She heard fragments drifting back. CEO. Board member. Billions. Karen pulled out her phone, hands shaking. Googled Naomi Sterling. Results loaded. Her face drained white. Forbes. Dr. Naomi Sterling, named CEO of Sterling Biotech. WSJ. Sterling Biotech closes 2.3B acquisition. Business Insider. Naomi Sterling joins DRA Holdings Board. Photos. White House. Awards. Fortune 500 CEOs. Karen's phone slipped, clattered on the counter. "No," she whispered. "That can't." But it was. She'd poured wine on a board member, on one of the most powerful women in pharmaceuticals. Karen gripped the counter, legs weak, vision tunneling. In first class, Naomi sat in ruined clothes, eyes closed, breathing steady. She touched the ID badge under her jacket. Cold metal. Wait for landing, she thought. Let them all see. The plane touched down at JFK 40 minutes later. Wheels hit tarmac with a jolt. Passengers who'd been silent the entire descent remained frozen. The captain's voice came through speakers, firm, final. "Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. Law enforcement will be boarding. Do not stand. Do not retrieve luggage. Remain in your seats." The plane taxied slowly. Through the windows, passengers could see flashing lights, police vehicles, airport security, an entire convoy waiting. Karen was still in the back galley. She'd tried scrolling social media to distract herself, but her hands shook too much. The phone kept slipping. She'd read about Naomi Sterling 3 times now. Each article made her stomach drop further. CEO at 38. Built a pharmaceutical empire. Board member of 6 companies. Net worth estimated at $400 million. And Karen had poured wine on her head. The plane stopped. Engines powered down. The cabin went eerily quiet except for the air conditioning hum. The forward door opened with a pneumatic hiss. 4 Port Authority police officers boarded. Navy blue uniforms. Body cameras are active. Hands near their belts. The lead officer was a woman. Tall, black. Her name tag read, Officer Williams. She scanned the cabin. Her eyes landed on Naomi immediately. Still in her wine-stained seat, hair dried into stiff burgundy clumps. Officer Williams walked directly to her. Dr. Sterling. Naomi looked up, exhausted. Officer? We received a briefing from the captain and multiple passenger reports. Are you injured? Do you need medical attention? I'm fine. Thank you. Williams nodded, turned to her team. Bring her forward. 2 officers walked to the back. Karen saw them coming. Her face crumpled. No, please, there's been a misunderstanding. Karen Morrison? The male officer's voice was flat. Yes, but I can explain. Ma'am, you're being detained for assault. Or you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. He pulled out handcuffs. The metallic click echoed through the silent cabin. Wait, please. I didn't know who she was. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. The cuffs locked around Karen's wrists. Cold steel. Tight. She was pulled forward down the aisle, past all the passengers she'd served, past all the phones still recording, past Naomi. As they reached row 2, Officer Williams spoke. Dr. Sterling, we understand you're on the board of this airline's parent company. Naomi stood slowly, wine-stained but dignified. I am. As of 6 months ago. She reached up, unbuttoned her ruined blazer, let it fall open. There, clipped to her cream blouse. The corporate ID badge, laminated, official, impossible to miss now. Sterling Biotech, Dr. Naomi Sterling. Chief Executive Officer, DRA Holdings. Board member. The badge caught the cabin light, gleamed. Officers nodded with understanding. Passengers gasped. Phones zoomed in. Karen saw it. Her knees buckled. The officers held her upright. No! Karen's voice broke. No, that's not. You can't be. Naomi's voice came out quiet, but it carried. Power in every syllable. I can't be what, Karen? Successful? Professional? In first class? Karen's face twisted. Tears started. I didn't know. You should have said something, told me who you were. Naomi took one step closer, close enough that Karen could smell the wine still staining both of them. I shouldn't have to announce my credentials to be treated with basic human dignity. The words landed like hammers. Karen's mouth opened, closed. No words came. Please, she finally whispered. I have kids. I need this job. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Naomi's expression didn't soften. You said I needed to learn my place. Karen was sobbing now, mascara running, handcuffs rattling. I never forgot my place, Karen. My place is wherever I choose to be. Naomi's voice was steel wrapped in silk. The question is, do you know yours now? Karen had no answer, just tears. Officer Williams gestured to her team. Let's go. They escorted Karen toward the exit. She looked back once, met Naomi's eyes, saw no forgiveness there, no mercy, just cold, absolute certainty. As Karen disappeared through the door, the cabin erupted. Applause, loud, thunderous, 40 passengers on their feet. Yes! That's what I'm talking about. Justice! Gregory was clapping the hardest. Sarah was crying and clapping simultaneously. David pumped his fist in the air. Naomi didn't smile, didn't acknowledge the applause. She just nodded once, weary. Rebecca appeared with a clean airline shirt. "Dr. Sterling, there's a car waiting for you, private. We'll have your luggage delivered directly to your home." "Thank you, Rebecca." "And—" Rebecca's voice cracked. "Thank you for not just letting this go, for making them see." Naomi touched her arm gently. "You tried to stop her. That matters." Officer Williams returned without Karen. "Dr. Sterling, we'll need your full statement. But we have everything we need from videos and witnesses. We can schedule a time convenient for you." Gregory stepped forward. "I'm Federal Judge Gregory Hammond, retired. I witnessed everything. I'll provide full testimony." "I recorded it all," Sarah added, wiping tears. "Unedited, time-stamped, already uploaded to cloud storage." "Earlier footage of microaggressions too," David said. "Happy to share." Williams took notes, collected contact information, handed Naomi her card. "The DA will be in touch. This is assault. Given the circumstances and evidence, prosecution will be aggressive." Naomi nodded, took the card. As she walked toward the exit, passengers stood, not applauding anymore, just standing, respectful, reverent. A young black woman in row 8, maybe 25, whispered as Naomi passed. "Thank you. Thank you so much." Naomi paused. "What's your name?" "Crystal." "Never let anyone make you feel like you don't belong, Crystal. You hear me?" Crystal nodded, tears streaming. Naomi continued down the aisle, through the doorway, into the jet bridge. Behind her, the passengers slowly began to deplane, quietly, subdued, like they'd witnessed something historic. Because they had. In the terminal, Karen was already gone, taken to airport security, processed, photographed, fingerprinted. Her career was over. Her reputation was destroyed. Her life forever changed. All because she couldn't see past skin color. Couldn't imagine that power wore many faces. Naomi emerged into the terminal. A black town car waited at the curb, engine running. She slid into the back seat, leather cool against her wine-stained clothes. Her phone buzzed, 47 emails. All replies to the one she'd sent mid-flight. The first was from DRA CEO Michael Patterson. Subject, Emergency Response, Flight 2847. Dr. Sterling, horrified. Investigating immediately. Full cooperation with law enforcement. Zero tolerance. This ends now. Naomi closed her eyes, leaned back. It was only the beginning. 2 hours after landing, Naomi sat in JFK's VIP lounge. She'd showered in the private facilities, changed into the spare clothes airline staff had rushed to buy. Black slacks, white blouse, simple, professional. The wine smell was gone, but the memory lingered like smoke. A detective sat across from her. NYPD, Aviation Unit, notebook open, pen moving steadily. And she said, quote, "Your kind needs to learn your place," end quote. The detective looked up. "Word for word," Naomi confirmed. "Multiple witnesses corroborate this?" 17 passengers, 3 flight attendants, video from 6 phones, plus cabin security cameras. The detective nodded slowly. "Dr. Sterling, this is the most documented assault case I've seen in 20 years. The DA is going to run with this." Rebecca waited in the hallway. She'd given her statement first. 40 minutes of every incident she'd witnessed, every complaint she'd filed went nowhere. When Naomi emerged, Rebecca stood quickly. "Dr. Sterling? Rebecca, I need you to know something." Rebecca's voice shook. I reported her 17 times. 17. Every single time HR said they'd investigate. Nothing ever happened. They protected seniority over doing what's right. Naomi studied her face, saw genuine anguish there. You tried. That matters more than you know. It's not enough. I should have pushed harder, gone higher, but I was scared of losing my job. Rebecca's eyes filled. I'm prepared to testify. About everything. Every passenger she targeted, every slur I heard, all of it. Thank you. Naomi meant it. A commotion erupted near the entrance. Security guards scrambling. A man in an expensive suit pushed through, flashing credentials. Michael Patterson, CEO of Dallas Regional Airlines. 60 years old, silver hair, panic in his eyes. He spotted Naomi, crossed the lounge in 6 strides. Dr. Sterling. Naomi. He was breathing hard. I flew here the moment I heard. I am sickened. We failed you spectacularly. He handed her a leather folder, official letterhead visible. Naomi opened it. Read quickly. Immediate actions taken. Karen Morrison. Terminated effective. 2:47 p.m. Stern, security clearance revoked. Criminal charges fully supported by the company legal team. Internal investigation launched into all 17 previous complaints. External auditor retained. Mandatory anti-discrimination retraining for all flight staff. Beginning Monday. Zero tolerance policy implemented. Single verified incident results in immediate termination. Victim compensation fund established. $500,000 initial allocation. This is just the beginning, Patterson said. His hands were shaking slightly. Your experience will change this airline. I give you my word. Naomi closed the folder. Words are easy, Michael. Follow through is what matters. You'll have it. Every resource, every bit of authority I have. I'll be watching. Her tone left no room for doubt. Patterson nodded, left. Guards escorted him back out. Naomi's phone buzzed continuously. She scrolled through notifications. Sarah's video had gone viral. 14 million views in 3 hours, still climbing. Hashtag first-class racism trending globally. #1 in 17 countries. News outlets were calling CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, BBC, Al Jazeera. Karen's full name had leaked. Her previous complaints surfaced. Pattern documented across social media, Twitter threads dissecting every incident, Reddit investigations, TikTok videos breaking it down frame by frame. Someone had found Karen's Facebook, screenshots spreading, posts complaining about diversity hires and lowered standards, dated back years. Naomi composed a brief statement through her company's PR department. What happened to me happens to black travelers every day. Most don't have the privilege of authority to defend themselves. That's what we must change. This is not about one person. It's about systems that enable discrimination. Those systems end now. She hit send. Meanwhile, in Queens, Karen sat in a processing cell, still in her uniform. Mascara streaked, handcuffs finally removed. A court-appointed attorney had just delivered the news. Fired from the airline. Termination letter delivered by courier during booking. Criminal charges, assault, federal hate crime enhancement pending, interfering with flight crew, arraignment scheduled for tomorrow morning, bail hearing immediately after. Her phone had been confiscated, but she'd seen enough before they took it. Her name is everywhere, her face on every news site, death threats flooding her social media. Her address leaked. Reporters camped outside her house. Her husband had called the attorney, filing for separation. He worked in corporate law, knew this was career-ending for both of them. Their kids had been pulled from private school. Tuition is suddenly unaffordable. Other parents were complaining. Didn't want their children near that woman's kids. Karen put her head in her hands. The concrete bench was cold. The cell smelled like disinfectant and desperation. 12 hours ago, she'd been untouchable. 17 complaints and nothing ever happened. Now everything was happening. All at once. Unstoppable. The attorney cleared her throat. Miss Morrison, I need to be honest. The evidence is overwhelming. Video from multiple angles. Testimony from a federal judge. The victim is a CEO and board member. The DA wants to make an example. What does that mean? Karen's voice was small. It means this is going to trial, and we're going to lose. Karen started crying again. Gut-wrenching sobs that echoed off concrete walls. Justice was coming. And it was not gentle. 2 weeks later, DRA's internal investigation was in full swing. 6 auditors occupied corporate headquarters. Laptops open, files stacked high, video footage on loop. They reviewed every flight Karen had worked in 5 years. Every complaint, every interaction. The pattern was undeniable. 47 additional complaints surfaced, all from passengers of color, Black, Latino, Asian, Middle Eastern. 0 from white passengers. Other flight attendants came forward under anonymity. She'd refused to serve them, say we ran out when we hadn't. She called an Indian passenger curry breath in the galley. HR knew. We reported it. Nothing happened. The VP of HR was placed on leave. 2 managers resigned. The complaint system was rebuilt completely. Month 2 brought criminal proceedings. The Manhattan DA assembled a grand jury. Evidence took 40 minutes. Jury deliberated 12. Karen Morrison was indicted on multiple charges. Assault in the 3rd degree. Federal hate crime enhancement. Interfering with flight crew duties. Endangering aircraft safety. Karen's public defender tried negotiating. First-time offender, 2 children, probation and community service. DA Marcus Williams didn't blink. This case is going to trial. It's too important. Media coverage exploded. Naomi agreed to 1 interview. 60 minutes, 22 million viewers. She sat composed, professional. The wine-stained suit displayed beside her. This isn't about one bad flight attendant. It's about systems that protect discrimination. 17 complaints weren't enough. How many people suffered because the system valued seniority over safety? What do you want from this? Real change, policy reform, and I want every person who's been discriminated against to know they can fight back. The interview went viral instantly. Month 3 brought a civil lawsuit. Naomi filed against Karen, DRA, and DRA Holdings despite her board position. Her attorney, Patricia Johnson, laid it out. We're seeking $8.5 million. Dr. Sterling isn't keeping it. Naomi stood at the press conference. Any settlement funds 3 initiatives: discrimination training for aviation, legal defense fund for passengers who can't fight back, scholarships for diverse aviation candidates. A reporter called out, "Why sue the company you're on the board of?" "Because I'm part of the system. If it's broken, I'm responsible for fixing it. This ensures accountability at every level." Month 5, the criminal trial began. Manhattan Criminal Court. Judge Helena Rodriguez presiding. The courtroom was packed. Karen arrived in modest clothes, no makeup, trying to look sympathetic. It didn't work. Day 1 brought video evidence. Sarah's footage played on screens, crystal clear. Damning. Karen's voice echoed. Your kind needs to learn your place. The wine is pouring. Karen's smirk. The jurors' faces were stone. 2 women cried silently. Day 2 brought witnesses. Sarah described everything. Microaggressions, escalation, deliberate cruelty. Gregory testified next. 40 years as a federal judge. Unimpeachable credibility. I never witnessed discrimination this blatant. She didn't just assault Dr. Sterling, she assaulted her humanity. Day 3 brought Rebecca. 2 hours of testimony. 17 witnessed incidents. Copies of ignored complaints. I reported her after she refused to serve a black family. claimed she was busy. She was on her phone in the galley. What happened? Nothing. HR said they'd investigate. Never heard back. Defense tried painting it as job stress. Bad day, not racial. Prosecution destroyed that with pattern evidence. 47 complaints. Every victim is a person of color. Statistical analysis proved intentional targeting. Day 4 brought Naomi. Navy suit, simple pearls, quiet power radiating. She walked through every detail. Water, bathroom, meal, wine. She didn't pour wine because I was disruptive. She poured it because she couldn't tolerate a successful black woman in first class. In her worldview, people like me don't belong there. She described missing her daughter's recital, the trauma, the humiliation. Then the bigger picture. How many others? How many without cameras? How many who just accepted it? Defense cross-examined. Couldn't you have de-escalated by identifying yourself? Naomi's response was immediate. I shouldn't have to prove my worth to be treated with dignity. My humanity should be enough. Applause erupted. The judge allowed it briefly. Day 7, jury deliberation, 2 hours. Quick meant consensus. Has the jury reached a verdict? We have, Your Honor. On assault in the 3rd degree? Guilty. Federal hate crime enhancement? Guilty. Interfering with flight crew duties? Guilty. Karen collapsed. Her attorney caught her. Sobs echoed. Sentencing came 2 weeks later. Judge Rodriguez was thorough. Ms. Morrison, you held authority. Trust. You abused it systematically. 48 documented times. Not a mistake. A choice. A pattern of hatred. The sentence. 18 months incarceration. 3 years probation. 500 hours of community service at civil rights organizations, mandatory counseling, restitution, $250,000, permanent ban from customer service. This reflects the seriousness of denying civil rights under authority. Karen was led away in handcuffs, still crying, still broken. The civil case was settled 3 weeks later. DRA Holdings paid $8.5 million. Full admission of failure. Mandatory reforms across all airlines. 3 executives fired. VP of HR. 2 regional managers who'd ignored complaints. Rebecca was promoted to Director of Cabin Services and Inclusion. First black woman in that role. New protocols were implemented immediately. 2 months later, 60 Minutes aired a follow-up. They tracked passengers from Karen's previous flights. People who'd suffered, never reported. An elderly black woman wept on camera. I thought it was just how things were. Didn't know I could fight back. Naomi's legal fund had helped 23 passengers. 1.2 million raised. 40 students of color in aviation programs through scholarships. Change was happening. Real, measurable change. All because one woman refused to accept that dignity was negotiable. 6 months later, Naomi booked Flight 22847 again. Same route, Dallas to New York, deliberately. She needed closure, needed to reclaim that space. Seat 2A, window side, same leather seat, same overhead bin. But everything felt different now. The crew was new, diverse, younger. They moved with genuine warmth, not forced politeness. Rebecca led them. She greeted passengers at the door personally. When Naomi boarded, Rebecca's face lit up. Welcome aboard, Dr. Sterling. It's an honor to have you. Thank you, Rebecca. Congratulations on your promotion. I couldn't have done it without you. Naomi settled into her seat. The cabin smelled like coffee and possibility. Sunlight streamed through the windows. Everything was ordinary, safe, as it should have been 6 months ago. A young black woman approached, maybe 24. Flight attendant uniform, crisp and new. Her hands trembled slightly, holding a tray of water glasses. She stopped at Naomi's row, took a breath. Dr. Sterling? I'm sorry to bother you. I just... Her voice cracked. I wanted to say thank you. Naomi looked up, smiled gently. For what? I'm in this job because of your scholarship fund. I've wanted to be a pilot since I was 8, but my family couldn't afford training. Your fund paid for everything. Tears welled in her eyes. I start pilot training next month. Naomi's chest tightened. This was why she'd fought. What's your name? Jasmine. Jasmine Cooper. Fly high, Jasmine. The sky has always belonged to you. Don't let anyone tell you differently. Jasmine wiped her eyes, smiled, moved on to serve other passengers. Naomi looked out the window, clouds drifting past. The plane pushed back from the gate. Her thoughts drifted with them. People ask why she didn't just let it go. Why press charges? Why the lawsuit? Why the media circus? The answer was simple. She thought about every black person told they don't belong. Every time someone clutches their purse when they walk by. Every time they're followed in stores. Every time they're asked to prove they paid for their own success. Karen poured wine on her. But racism pours contempt on people every single day. The difference was power. Naomi had the authority to fight back. So she did. Not just for herself, for everyone who couldn't. That CEO badge Karen saw too late? It didn't make Naomi more deserving of respect. Her humanity did. All our humanity does. The wine washed off, but the lesson stays. The plane leveled off at cruising altitude. Smooth, peaceful. Naomi pulled out her phone, scrolled through updates. Karen had served 14 months, released on good behavior, working a warehouse job now, divorced, limited contact with her children, court-ordered therapy ongoing. She'd issued a public apology, written, probably by her lawyer. The sincerity was debatable, but it existed. Rebecca was thriving as director. Her anti-discrimination protocols were now industry standard. Passenger diversity increased 28%. Employee diversity up 41%. DRA's reputation had recovered. They were known as leaders in equity now. Training programs cited as best practice. Gregory had written an op-ed in the Washington Post. The day I witnessed hate at 35,000 feet. Powerful. Moving. Sarah's video was now used in civil rights training nationwide. Over 30 million views. David started a nonprofit for discrimination victims, providing legal resources and support. And Naomi? Still CEO. Company stock up 34%. She'd used her platform to advocate for equity across corporate America. Her memoir was released last month. First Class Citizen, already a bestseller. The flight landed smoothly. Naomi gathered her things, walked through the terminal. Normal, ordinary, as it should be. She thought about what she'd tell her daughter tonight. The lesson behind everything. Your worth isn't determined by badges or titles or bank accounts. It's inherent, undeniable, yours by simply being human. But when you have power, use it, not just for yourself, for everyone who comes after. Change the systems. Don't just survive them. If you've experienced discrimination, you're not alone. Document everything. Record when safe. Report always. Your voice matters. Your experience matters. You matter. Karen thought she could put Naomi in her place. She was right about one thing. Naomi has a place. Her place is wherever she chooses to be. And so is yours. If this story moved you, share it. Someone needs to hear it. Someone who's been told they don't belong. Someone who's afraid to fight back. Someone who needs to know that justice is possible. Comment below. Have you witnessed discrimination? Have you experienced it? How did you respond? Your story could be next. Your voice could change everything. Subscribe to Black Voices Uncut if you believe dignity isn't negotiable, that respect isn't earned by credentials, that humanity matters more than status. One final question for you. Karen served 14 months in prison, lost her career, her marriage, her reputation. Was that justice? Too harsh for pouring wine and saying hateful words? Or not enough for 48 documented incidents of discrimination? You decide. Because justice isn't always simple. But respect, dignity, basic humanity, those should be. Know your worth. Stand your ground. The world belongs to all of us. Not just some of us. All of us.
At Black Voices Uncut, we don't polish away the pain or water down the message. We tell it like it is because the truth deserves nothing less. If today's story spoke to you, click like, join the conversation in the comments, and subscribe so you'll be here for the next Uncut Voice.